Hello and good morning to you. This is Dr. Bill Bledsoe bringing you Sacred Heart Yoga from Chesney, South Carolina, from our home that we call Spirit on the Wind Retreat Center. If you're new to Sacred Heart Yoga, there's 4 things, and I'll try to get them all, remember them all, that you need to know. The first is the positions. If they're hard for you, don't worry about it. Don't do them. The positions are there to help stretch you over time, to heal you over time. And you can do it at Sacred Heart Yoga sitting in a chair and still get as much out of it if you pray from your heart. And that's the second thing, is that I will begin the prayers and then I leave a blank space. You must finish them from your own heart, from your own experiences, what's going on this day. Your walk with God is different from my walk with God, so I can't pray for you. You have to pray your own heartfelt prayers. The third thing is that God is referred to by many aspects. Some people think of God as God the Father, the wisdom, the truth, the knowing, the doing. Other people think of God as God the Mother, the loving, the nurturing aspect, the creation of new life, new cells within our bodies. Some people think of God as the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, or a Spirit. Rukadukucha is Jesus's language for the Holy Spirit, means air. So everybody's got a different image of what God is that's real to them, but they're all just simply aspects of one bigger God, a oneness, the one. And then the fourth thing is we always tone. We say our prayers aloud. I begin them, you say them aloud, and then we tone at the end the word Om, O-H-M. And it's at a frequency that resonates in your own brain. So we'll try it, practice it 3 times real quick to let you experience and figure out what frequency is right for you. Om. Om. I thank God for this method of prayer, for this method of praying aloud, each of us, our individual prayers, of toning afterwards, of body movements that heal our body while the prayers are healing our mind and our spirits, our souls. I thank the generations that have brought this to us, from the house of Abraham, the house of David, from Jesus, his mother Mary, father Joseph, Mary Magdalene, and Virginia Ellen, who wrote the book, Sacred Heart Yoga. So anybody in the world can practice this ancient method of prayer anytime they want. Now, if you'll repeat after me, we'll say the Sacred Heart Yoga prayer. Beloved, I devote this practice this day to the evolution of my soul, to the fulfillment of my destiny, in service to the One. And I allow myself to be purified as I rejoice in the kingdom of heaven and the love of God. And I give thanks for these blessings, these moments I share with my body and my spirit in oneness. And so it is. Amen. Next, we're going to clear our energy fields of distractions, of stray thoughts, of worries, of anything that's troubling us. And we want to just let them go all through the prayers. We don't want to dwell on them. And we do this in Sacred Heart Yoga by taking our hand up to the 12 o'clock position, making it like the arms of a clock, over to the 3 o'clock position, down to our right knee, our left knee, back over to the 9 o'clock position, and back up to the top. And here our prayers, if you'll repeat after me, begin with, I clear my energy field of anyone or anything standing within. I bless them and I send them to the light. Now, if you get a stray thought while you're doing the yoga, your prayers, it's a distraction. So a wonderful lady in Charlotte, North Carolina, taught me a way to get rid of the distractions. And it seems like as I do these, it'll happen to me 2 or 3 times almost every day. I'll have to get rid of the distraction. And the way she taught us, Christine Lang out of Charlotte, was to let it go, to think about, realize we have a stray thought and let it go, let it blow away like a ribbon floating away on a gentle breeze off in the distance. Now, we ask next, God, how may I serve you? And it comes to me always in just 1 or 2 words. And so we do this by taking our right hands over our hearts, over our solar plexus. And our prayers begin with, God, how may I serve you this day? Now we're going to stand and announce what came to us, whatever the 1 or 2 words were. And we do that by facing forward, our palms out. And here our prayers begin with, God, my intention to serve you is to Now we make that into an agreement with God. In Aramaic, Jesus' language, agreements were always made by saying the word Amen. Amen is the pronunciation of Amen, then saying the word Amen, and we say it 3 times. So here we'll sing it 3 times, making our intentions to serve into an agreement with God. Sing it any way you want. Amen. Amen. Now we sit back down on the mats and lay down on our backs. And we pull our right knee up to our chest and holding it there with both arms. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you for, and Father, I thank you for. Om. Now we hold our right foot in our left hand and pull it over to our left leg, our left thigh, and let our right knee fall down towards the mat. Our right arm goes straight up above our head, straight out and stretched down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we switch hands. We take our right foot in our right hand and pull it down to our pelvis. And this time our left arm gets extended above our heads, out flat down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we pull that right foot up towards the heavens, holding it with our right hand, left arm still above our heads, down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we let our arms extend out from our shoulders, straight out, palms up, and our right leg goes up to the heavens and falls out to the right side of our bodies. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we turn our heads to the right and we take our right leg and cross our bodies over to the left side of our bodies, keeping our shoulders down flat on the mats. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, our legs outstretched, our arms at our sides, and we pull our left knee up to our chest and hold it there with both arms. Here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you for, and Mother, I thank you for. Om. Now we hold our left foot in our right hand, pulling it over to our right thigh, and let our left knee fall down to the mat. Our left arm this time goes above our head, stretched out straight and down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we hold our left foot, we switch hands, left foot in our left hand, pulling it down to our pelvis. Our right arm this time goes above our heads, stretched out, straight out and down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we pull our right foot and let it extend up towards the heavens, holding it with our left hand, our left foot, holding it with our left hand. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we let our arms fall out, straight out from our shoulders, out to the sides, palms up, and we let our left leg go up to the heavens and fall out to the left side of our bodies, opening up our pelvis. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we turn our heads to the left and we take our left leg and we bring it across our bodies over to the right side, keeping our shoulders down flat on the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, our legs outstretched, our arms at our sides, and we pull our both knees up to our chest this time and hold them there with both arms. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you for, and God, I thank you for. Oh. Now we hold our right foot in our right hand, our left foot in our left hand, and we put the soles of our feet together down near our pelvis. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we pull our feet apart, keeping them down near our pelvis. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we point both feet up towards the heavens. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we let our arms go out to the side, stretched out from our shoulders, this time palms down, and our feet come down to the mat right near our pelvis with our knees up towards the heavens. We turn our heads to the left and our knees go to the right, and we keep our shoulders down flat on the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we turn our heads to the right and our knees go over to the left side. Again, keeping our shoulders down on the mats, our arms extended, palms down. Here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, our feet outstretched. And this time we go into the surrender pose, where we surrender anything to God that might be troubling us, that we might need help with, that we might be distracting us. We might be feeling guilt over something we did in the past. And we can surrender all this to God and let God handle it. And we do this by putting our hands under our sit bones, and we lean forward on our elbows and try to touch the tops of our heads back down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, I surrender to you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, our arms at our sides, our legs outstretched. And we take our left arm and we point it up towards the heavens. And we let it fall over to the right side of our body. And we stretch it a little bit farther to the right side of our body by taking our right hand halfway between our left elbow and left shoulder, pulling it over farther. And here our prayers begin with, God, I choose. Om. Now we take our right hand up and extend it straight up to the heavens. And we let it fall over to the left sides of our bodies. And we take our left hand halfway between our right elbow and right shoulder, pulling our right arm over farther. And here our prayers begin with, God, I can. Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, feet outstretched, and we pull our both feet up to our pelvis and put the soles of our feet together, letting our knees fall out to the outside. And this forms a tabernacle, a triangle below our bodies. We form a second tabernacle by taking our hands in prayer position over our hearts and extending them 2/3 of the way up to the heavens. And in this tabernacle of our hearts, we find God's beautiful chalice. It's filled with anything that we could ever desire, any gift that we could ever want to be in service to God. And here our prayers begin with, God, I drink from your chalice, your gifts of Om. Now we keep our hands in prayer position and we put them over the tops of our heads down to the mats. And we stretch our elbows out to the sides down to the mats. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for my body and my mind and my spirit. Om. Now we're going into the anointing series, and we will anoint gifts from God 3 different times. And it's like 4 positions each time. So we always keep our hands in prayer position throughout, and we take our thumbs to our foreheads. And here our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts of. Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips, and here our prayers begin with, God, I bless your gifts of, and I dedicate them in service to you. Oh. Now we take our hands in prayer position down over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for. Om. Now, this position, our hands are doing a movement. It's moving from, we point our fingers down into our abdomens, and we extend our arms out to the 3 o'clock position and up to the 12 o'clock position, slowly moving them. And as we do this, pointing our fingers down into our abdomens, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my soul with your gifts of. Om. Now we go into the second in the 3-part series of anointings. We take our thumbs back to our foreheads, and here our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts of. Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips, and here our prayers begin with, God, I bless your gifts of, and I dedicate them in service to you. Om. Now we take our hands down over our hearts, and here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for your gifts of all. Now we point our fingers down into our abdomens, extending them out to the 3 o'clock and 12 o'clock positions. As we do this, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my soul with your gifts of all. Now we start the third and final in the series of anointings. We take our thumbs up to our foreheads, and here our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts of all. Now we take our hands, our thumbs down to our lips, and here our prayers begin with, God, I bless your gifts of, and I dedicate them in service to you. All. Now we take our hands down in prayer position over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for your gifts of all. Now we take our fingers and point them down into our abdomens, extending them out to the 3 o'clock and then 12 o'clock positions. And here our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my soul with your gifts of all. Now we go back to resting position, our legs outstretched, our arms at our sides. We cross our right ankle over our left ankle, and we cross our right wrist over our left wrist, over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for your protection, your safety, and Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, feet outstretched, and we roll over on our sides, pushing ourselves back up into sitting position with our hands and arms. And we take our right foot straight out, right leg straight out in front of us. Our left foot crosses our right knee. Our right arm holds our left knee up to our chest, and we twist to the left side with our head and shoulders supporting our bodies with our left arm. And here our prayers begin with, desire I am, desire I am, desire I am, I desire. Om. Now we switch legs. Our left leg goes straight out in front of us. Our right foot goes over our left knee. And we hold our right knee with our left arm up to our chest. And we twist to the right this time with our head and shoulders, our right arm behind our back supporting us. And here our prayers begin with, will I am, will I am, will I am, I will. Om. Now we get up on our knees and put our hands in prayer position over our hearts. Here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for. Om. Now we'll go into putting our foreheads down on the mat. And to do this, we take the tips of our thumbs together and the tips of our fingers together, forming a tabernacle, and we put it over our foreheads as we go down to the mat. And as we're there, we just feel God's love entering our bodies, God's wisdom entering our bodies. Om. Now we go back to sitting position. This time our right leg gets extended out to the right side. Our left foot comes up to the inside of our right thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, I am. Om. Now our left leg goes out to the left side. Our right foot comes over to the inside of our left thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, I will. Om. Now we go back to sitting position, our legs crossed. Our palms will be on our knees, palms up this time, and our thumbs will touch our middle two fingers. And we keep our back straight as we bow forward. And here our prayers begin with, I bow to my body, my mind, my soul. Om. We sit back up straight and tall. And again, we bow at our pelvis. We bow forward. And here our prayers begin with, I bow to you, God, to the divinity within, to Om. Now we sit back up straight and we feel our pelvis where it's grounded on the left and right sides of our pelvis. And on the left side of our pelvis, we feel the mother's white light of love, of nurturing, of creation, of new life, new cells within all living things at all times. And we feel her wonderful white light fill our legs to the fullness, fill our abdomens, fill our hearts, fill our lungs, this white light of love, just completely filling our bodies, our throats, filling our minds, our heads, and going out the tops of our heads, up into the sky, the mother's wonderful white light, and it showers back down on the earth. Excuse me. Now we feel on the right side of our bodies the wonderful blue light of God the Father, the Father's wisdom, his truth that he gives us every day. We feel his blue light filling our legs, our abdomens, filling our solar plexus, our hearts with wisdom, with knowing, filling our lungs with this blue light, filling our throats, our heads, our minds, going out the tops of our heads, up into the skies, this wonderful blue light of God the Father, his love and his wisdom. And it showers down on the whole earth around us. Now we step up into the light that's above our heads. And as we do this, we can stay as long as we want here in this kingdom of light. And here we ask God just one question. God, what is it that I need to know this day?